like my camera not so well done right now, actually. Let's see. There we go. A little bit better. A little bit better to start this one off. Wah wee wah says Pulse Bitcoin. Haven't seen you here before, but welcome, sir. Welcome indeed. We've got a nice little stream this morning. Nice little stream with Bitcoin doing fuck all, traditional markets doing fuck everything, and apparently is how this one's been going for quite some time now. Anyways, we will of course go over traditional markets in relatively soon, man, and then of course Bitcoin as well. But I mean, Bitcoin, it's just nothing really new here. It's just watching fucking paint dry on the fence, watching molasses try to slowly move down the slope. It's watching basically nothing at this moment. All of the action, all of the fun stuff's going on in traditional markets, in the tech sector, in the robotics sector, in the AI sector, in the commodity sector, especially with gold, silver, and what's the other one? Well, I mean, there's a bunch of other ones, of course, copper, palladium, platinum, whatever the fuck. It's all the same shit. They're the ones that are moving. They're the ones that are moving. Bitcoin, not so much moving. What's up, Mr. Caretaker? I see you over there. The Remco Van Reams. Remco Ram Beams. Monday false move, not likely. I mean, are we going to get any move? That's the real question, man. What's up, John Dude? Good morning to you, man. Mr. Sam Fragnosi, 2 a.m. Hell fucking yes from Vegas. Nice. I actually know one person from Brisbane. It is the one accent in all of Australia that is actually nice to the ears. It's very, very nice indeed. What's up, Trift in the top? Good morning to you, man. Been a while indeed. Dread mining, 5-minute pump. Yeah, we got a 5-minute pump. That's exactly what we've been relegated to at this moment. Going to the very, 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 very low time frames to get any sort of dopamine impulse with Bitcoin moving in what is probably less than a 1% range at the moment. I mean, shit, man. It is a nice rally, $90,000 all the way up to 91,700. So actually not bad right there. But again, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, Bitcoin below 94 and above $80,000 means pretty much nothing as far as a graded trend does go. Still anticipating a general move to the upside here, but this might take some time to play out. Bitcoin could easily play back down to the mid 80s first and then try that move, but ultimately the same analysis does still apply here. I guess if anything's changing, which I don't even know if that's even true right now because I haven't really checked it out, but it'd be the lower term time frames. 4-hour time frame right here, still trying to dig into that $90,000-ish region, and it still has the exact same sort of invalidation point for a short-term confirmation of this rally continuing. That would be about 89,300 on a 4-hour closure. If we go over here to the revenue ribbons, which I think get this one incredibly well on the daily time frame, just any sort of a closure below the midline at 90,700. So that's creeped up a lot actually since last week. Last week it was just below $90,000. Now it's well above $90,000, actually closer to $91,000. But if we do get a daily closure below there, then yeah, sure. I do look for a move back up to the bottom side of the range, or at least the middle of the range, 85 and then 82 respectively. But for right now, Bitcoin's still in that position where it is threatening a breakout to the upside. If anything, it's just, it ain't fucking doing anything right now. So it's like, what are we watching? What are we watching indeed is a good question. Anyways, looking at traditional markets, I do want to see what Triple Qs is doing right now to represent that tech sector. And it is looking to me like this one is finally ready to follow in SPY's footsteps. SPY already obviously made new all-time highs last week and looking like it might even do it again today as well. Beautiful, man. Fucking beautiful. What's Job Brunso? He says the 5-day stochastic versus volatility strategy is wound up. Let's see. Actually, I imagine it probably is. I mean, shit, Bitcoin's been in the same range for nearly 2 months now. Yeah, I mean, volatility is down on the floor here, but it can, of course, stay down there for a little while. It's just getting into the extremely contracted zones, as you can see. It just got its first bar below 10 percentile as of the last bar, actually. So, technically hasn't even settled in one at that extremely, extremely low level just yet. And even when it does do that, I mean, the past example that we had right here, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars before it really started to lift off from that level. It can take some time. And again, 6 bars on a 5-day time frame, that's another 30 days. That could be another month before we realistically see anything of significance, in terms of resolving this range. I personally think that we'll see it resolved sooner than that, or at least hopefully sooner than that. I mean, for fuck's sake, need to definitely go into some other markets at this point just because, goddamn, man, this is boring as shit. This is among the most boring times that I've seen on Bitcoin, even though technically speaking, the ranges are price-wise a lot bigger. But, this range can compared to what we saw back in 2018, coming off of the capitulation lows, or even in the last bear market cycle in 2022, November, December. I mean, these are similar sort of things because the percentage range are very, 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 very small compared to, what Bitcoin does historically, which is why we love it. It has all this major opportunities. But in the short term right now, I mean, these are slowly evaporating. But yeah, as far as the 4-hour goes right here, I mean, shit. Does look to me like it wants to try another move towards those highs from last week, I believe it was, maybe 93, 94,000 bucks. Are we actually going to see a legitimate break above those? The question still remains. I think that it is just a matter of time before we see something like that, but my opinion is unnecessary on this. Pending a closure above about 94,000 bucks, it is still range bound, and of course, to the downside, it's not really relevant right now. But 80,000 bucks is still the number to be mindful of, because you could maybe move that up to 83, but it doesn't really matter at this point. I mean, for fuck's sake, Bitcoin just going sideways as hell. Sideways as hell. Same thing on CME here too. CME chart looks a little bit better in the short term compared to spot. Really not going off of much here, but yeah, do I think that there's going to be another move up towards the top side of the range from last week's highs? Yeah, most likely, yes. Just doesn't imply necessarily a break just yet. So I think still the waiting game is upon us. What's up, Mr. Peter Underwood? Good morning to you as well, sir. Good morning to you indeed. Sky Junkie says definitely sucks balls. Sir, yes, indeed. Sir, we are sucking balls right now. Sir, my fucking pars charts aren't moving. Sir, why won't we go up? Sir, maybe go to traditional markets. Sir. There's money to be made somewhere else, I think. That's what's really going on. I mean, fuck, man, look at this chart right here. Look at this chart. This one wants to go up. It wants to go up right now. It wants to make new all-time highs this week. I just recorded a video on it that'll release tomorrow, because actually tomorrow will be traveling during the day. So it'll go over traditional markets, gold, and then some Bitcoins as well. I mean, Bitcoin, it's like, what do you even have to update on? Still, it's the same. It's been the same analysis for like a month and a half, 2 months now. SPY is the one. Traditional markets are the ones that want to go up as of this moment. Fuck, even tech sector, Nasdaq starting to follow here too. This one has been a little bit weaker. I think it's the industrial sector, the one is the one that's been getting the benefit of the rotations right now. Let's see what this one's been doing. Yeah, new all-time highs already. Pretty decent new all-time highs as of last week, and this week looks like it wants to push off for even more. If we look at futures over here, I imagine tell a little bit of a better picture. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I mean, it's same shit basically, but yeah, already retesting those highs more or less. Nvidia is also a stable coin. Joke's on you, perhaps, yes, but yeah, man, the big what was it, like the big five or the big seven, the magnificent seven, whatever the fuck it is, they are getting rotated right now, and you can see very clearly, this one is not ready to move to new all-time highs as of right now. Is it good long term? Probably, yeah, but it's going to take its time to consolidate here, shake itself out, do its thing, and then yeah, at a later date it probably gets the rotation back up to the upside. But this was the leader, so I do still look at Nvidia and the tech sector, the strong tech stocks, as the leaders, meaning that once the industrial sector gets its rotational move to the upside, and then probably the mid caps and the small caps, then we see the tech sector go again. But the mid caps just recently broke out. I think I was looking at Russell 2000 last week. It was small caps here. It's just freshly breaking out to new highs. The first new all-time highs since 2021. So during this whole last 5-year period, this hasn't been doing shit, and then now it's starting to make a move. So now it's getting a little bit of that rotational benefit, whereas all of the rest of the markets were making new all-time highs for the past 3 years at least. This one finally playing catch up. So let this one do its thing. Usually when the small caps start to rally, it's kind of a sign of the end times incoming. But this can go on for a little while longer before the inevitable does happen. And I suspect that we probably got another year, maybe even 2 years of this. It's kind of crazy to see what's going on in the political sphere right now as well. I mean, it seems like Jerome Powell is coming under the iron sights of the administration. I don't know what the hell is going on right there, but there's two ways to kind of interpret it. One is that every president ever has always gotten to appoint their own Fed chair, but at the same time, every president ever has not, threatened litigation against the current sitting Fed chair. So it's like, I don't know, is there even a point in doing that? Like, why even do that? It's not going to be so much time before this guy's out anyways, and you get to, employ whoever the fuck you want. So I don't know, man. Seems like an interesting decision to me. Maybe I just don't understand the full picture. Who the fuck knows at the end of the day? We're just morons watching this shit from afar. I'm sure that realistically you need to be in the inner circle to know what the hell is going on in that sphere to begin with. Anyways, what else we got? Are you still going to make more videos on options trading? I mean, I'd be happy to when another opportunity presents itself, but for right now, do I have any options positions? No, I don't see any reason to have options positions right here, because I don't like these setups. Like if we go over here and we start to look at, if I was going to play anything right here, I would sell another put spread, I guess. But I don't feel good about that. Like if we choose maybe the Jan 30 expiration and we go to, let's go up here. and we go to like maybe the 85, 80 put spread, this does not have enough premium on it to make it worthwhile, in my opinion. I would want at least a couple $1,000 on the $85,000 strike. I mean, for that, we'd have to go up to February 13th, and that's just too far for me. I don't want to do that. And for the the $80,000 strike, I'm comfortable with that low premium right there. But again, for me, there's just, I don't like that trade. I like the obvious trades when it comes to options. I don't like the forcing, a small trade here, a small trade there. We just had a really good trade with options, man. We just had a really good trade shorting the $80,000 put strike, longing the $75,000 put strike. We took the full money home from that. I'm completely fine with that. That was a good, couple weeks worth of work. And now I'm just waiting for a similar opportunity that is similarly as obvious to put another position on. Until then, I'm happy to wait for as long as that takes. In poker terms, I'm just waiting for the perfect hand to once again arrive. And then, yes, I will take that trade. I will take that play. But until then, I'm just waiting, man. I'm not trying to force this one. I don't see any reason to do that. When those opportunities present themselves, they produce plenty of cash in order to live off of. So I don't want to be, forcing another one like that or anything like that. I mean, there's just, you're just potentially going to bleed more money from those beautiful gains that we had not so long ago. So yeah, that's kind of my position on that, man. Never understood why Powell took the second term. Loose proposition. He could be playing with his grandkids. I don't know, maybe, but I mean, wasn't he first an Obama appointee, then Trump kept him, then Biden kept him, and then Trump got him again, but he's going to get rid of him. I don't know, man. It's a weird game. I don't really understand it at the end of the day. And I mean, shit, man, has the Fed ever not been political at the end of the day? I mean, they say they're independent. They're supposed to be independent, but in my opinion, at least from studying history, it doesn't really seem like that. It seems like once the president gets to choose their Fed chair, basically every term. I mean, like, do you not think that they choose someone who is going to do what they want them to do? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I haven't studied enough, but that's the conclusion that I've come to after studying at least the last 50 years of this stuff. It seems like, whatever the administration wants, they get, no matter who the administration is. Now, this one is starting to be a little bit more adversarial for sure. Yeah, for sure. Which I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. But, people making the statement that this is like the first of anything. No, not necessarily. That's always kind of happened in the past. Trump appointed, he appointed Jay Powell. Okay, so yeah, he was not a part of Obama. It was then Trump who then Biden kept with, and then yeah, I guess he's going to get rid of him, but yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. And to be fair, I mean, in the first term, I guess Powell did do a lot of what Trump wanted, didn't he? Right? Anyways, one moment while I take a sippy sip of this water. So what happens to Stonks when he gets his desired Fed chair that lowers rates to zero? I think you're seeing that price in right now because it is inevitable, right? It is inevitable. Whether Trump gets rid of Powell right now or whether it happens, I think, at the end of a term in like April or May or whatever it is, it's going to happen. It is a foregone conclusion at this point. So what are the markets going to do? They're going to price that in already. I mean, what could possibly stop that situation from happening? Because even if Trump doesn't basically impeach him or litigate against him or whatever it is, his term is expired. Like it's gonna end. It's gonna fucking end. So you know that, I know that, everyone knows that. So what are people going to do? They're going to be forwards looking in the way that markets are, and they are going to price it in as of right now. And I think that's what you're seeing, as well as many other things as well. Other administrations do their businesses behind closed doors. Yeah, Trump does it publicly. Yeah. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I guess for us, who are watching this, we get to be a little more close to the source than ever, just because, before, like you said, it does happen behind closed doors. There's good and bad with that. But, as a person who is looking at markets, I kind of like that. I feel like I get a little bit more of an insight as to what's going on than ever before. It's just, that is kind of nice. But still, I'm sure that there's a lot of games played behind the doors as well. I'm sure that, whatever information that we're getting is old information. It's heavily spun, blah, 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 blah. You already know. So yeah, man. Anyways, See what else we got. Then we'll go through a little bit more, some Bitcoins over here. Bitcoin Cash to 1200, says Mikey B. Okay, Bitcoin Cash actually has been looking like it wants to break out for like the past month. I, as always, have had a major red flag go off whenever I see this thing threatening a rally. So let's see. I'm going to click the button here, see what the fuck it's doing. And what do you know, turning down already. It looks like my prior experience is indeed going to hold up here. It does look like this one wants to put in yet another local high. This one also putting in some hidden, or sorry, not hidden, but regular bearish divergence right there. So I do think you got another swing down. I don't know, man. This one always fails whenever it gets the opportunity. It always fails whenever it gets the opportunity to have a potential massive trend changing breakout. Yes, this chart is objectively looking like it wants to break out to the upside, but goddamn, man, I've seen it too many times. I've seen it too many times, and I have to say that I think it's probably going to fail there as well, man. Is it going to go to 1200? Look, it probably goes higher than that if it takes out the April 2024 high, but still has yet to take that out, man. It's been spending multiple weeks, multiple months around that same pivot too. Just doesn't want to do it. So to me, hesitation at that level, not a good sign. Just the history of fucking Bcash is not a good sign as well, man. It's just not. Anyways, let's see what else we got over here. Giant FC says, I hate Yellen, but her statement saying we are becoming a banana republic is accurate. Maybe not. I don't know. I haven't really been paying too much attention to politics recently. It's quite nice. Like, it's actually really fucking nice. I stopped using Twitter. I don't read the news. The only news that I get is from my fucking crazy father who wants to propagate every fucking talking point from MSNBC. But I love my dad, by the way. He's a great guy. But at the same time, you know, he's an older guy. You know, that's just how they got their news. They're not going to, you know, they're not going to relent from that. But yeah, it is what it is, man. Anyways, Bcash is Tom Lee. Is it really? No, Tom Lee. Oh, Tom Lee. Yeah, Tom Lee. I was thinking Charlie though. I'm like, no. He's like Cash. He's like Cash, man. What the fuck are you talking about? You're mixing up these Lees like a racist, but they're not. They're just, it's Charlie Lee, Tom Lee, Bruce Lee. A lot of Lees, a lot of chins, a lot of chins, a lot of Lees. Anyways, let's go see what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin playing in the daily average range here. We actually haven't seen the past couple days hit either side of this range. That is a testament to how unvolatile and how uninteresting this asset has been in recent times. I mean, shit. Yeah, it was a weekend, obviously. So yeah, I guess if there ever is a time to not test those ranges, that is the time. But even then, I mean, we still typically do see those ranges tested. Anyways, for today, the upside average range is about 93,000 bucks. The downside average range is about 89,150. I assume the upside range is significantly more likely to be tested today. I am looking at this, however, as a daily uptrend emerging. We do have some higher lows. We do not have higher highs just yet or anything that really matters at this point. But, you know, 1, 2, 3 higher lows typically is going to be an upside pressure buy. So I would say if you do test the top side at about 93,000 bucks, I would not get super aggressive with scalping that. You know, maybe 200 to 300 bucks at most. I would not want to go against this one right now, because I would look at that as trading against a trend in this, you know, in this current instance. As you've noticed throughout last week, especially, it was the bottom side of these average return range lows that produced the nice scalps, you know, some multi-$1,000 scalps right there. So in this case, if you are looking for that trade, I wouldn't get too aggressive with that. I wouldn't get too greedy with that. A couple $100 at most, if you even want to trade that. And what I've been saying as well is that if you do want to play this in a more risk-averse way, meaning that you want to basically have less losses, but at the same time, you're not going to get as many opportunities, and thus you probably actually end up with less money in your pocket overall. But if you are that risk-averse person, which I kind of can consider myself as, I don't like to trade against the trend on especially strategies like this, scalping strategies that are very, very quick in and out, you know, same bar type activity. So something like this, something like price action pivots, I personally would not do that on the upside test right now and try to look for like that multi-$1,000 play. It's just, this is not the time to be doing that. You know, on the other side, sure, yeah, that's where I think you got that opportunity, or at least, you know, in a better, less risky way. But in this case right here, yeah, maybe a few $100 at most, and then let the, you know, take that money in your hand and fucking run the other way. Looking at Rev and Ribbons, like I said earlier, this one is just, it's so fucking good, even, you know, in and of itself. And by the way, I should have mentioned, as we do still have the code up over here, we actually do still have our sale going on. I haven't been great at sounding the alarm bell, but yes, 2026 beginning of the year sale is on right now. 20% off of any one of the programs or services in the teachable link description below. 2026 again is that code, and it's 20% off literally across the board for anything. If you are interested in the Rev and Ribbons, we're actually only letting the quantum wave bands people test it out right now. You can try it out for 7 days free. You don't need to risk any money. By the way, for almost all of our indicator packages, we do have 7-day free trials, even with the 20% off discount. But yeah, if you do have quantum wave bands, you can get access to this. There are instructions in the quantum wave bands Discord. You can buy it outright if you want as well, or you can just try it out for 7 days. Either is fine. All is good. You don't need to risk nothing right there. Just see how it works. But in this case, again, it is using that midline to rally off of. And as long as it is above the midline, the bias is to the upside. And once again, the bias is to the upside around these dotted red lines right here, if you can see on my cursor, which is effectively last week's high. So I'm still looking for something like that to be tested again. It does not imply a breakout just yet. However, we need to absolutely 100%, 1 million billion quadrillion percent see a closure above that range high at about $94,500 on a daily closing basis. Until then, the range has not been resolved. And while there is likely a move back up to this range high, we can't just say, hey, it's gonna, you know, go straight to fucking $100,000 from there. But if we do see a close above the range high, there is quite obviously an ascending triangle being built up right here. If I can draw it out with my lovely little lines, my magical lines right here, we can see that there is a nice little ascending triangle that has been constructed, once again using last week's high as the upper boundary for this one. And there's an implied target for this. I won't do it super perfectly right here, but it'll look something like this, pointed up towards about 103,000, about the 618 Fibonacci retracement right here as well. So I do let the confluence for that. Again, if we do see that confirmed breakout, you know, you probably got another like $9,000 move, basically $8,000 to $9,000 move, very, very likely somewhere in this pocket right here. And at that point, you know, if we start to see a rejection, that's where I become very, very bearish personally. But until then, you know, I do still have this upwards bias. And if Bitcoin can again reclaim the $107,500 number, I'm happy to switch on to full on fucking bullish. But until then, I'm not, based off of the higher term time frame stuff that we've gone over in previous videos, which I won't go over right now because, well, too many damn things. On top of that, what is also suggesting that, you know, there is a real threat of a breakout to the upside here is the 5-day 5 EMA strategy. Again, using the Quant Prime service to back test and automate this baby. We do see that this one entered in actually last week on the previous closure at 93,800. So this was actually a little bit underwater right now. But here's the thing: if this strategy is going to fail, on average, we expect it to fail. According to the stats over here, we expect, oh God, they changed it again. No, you fucking pieces of shit at TradingView. Fuck you 10 more times. God damn it. They changed it again. These fucking bastards changed it again. Stop it. Stop fucking changing it. Stop it. All right. After that autistic breakout, I have found what we're... Sorry, Rosie, I'm not like yelling at you. I'm yelling at these fucking morons at TradingView. TradingView, fuck you. All of your employees, don't fuck you. But the people who make the decisions on design, 1 million times fuck you. 1 million billion times fuck you. You bastards. Stop it. Anyways. Thank you for sticking with me through that. The average amount of bars and losing trades is 2. You actually can't see it right here because my face is blocking it off. But the average amount of bars and losing trades is 2. The average amount of bars and winning trades is 10. And what I think is very important about this right now is that you are on that second bar. So if this is going to fail, we expect it to fail. Maybe this period, maybe the period after that. But the longer that it goes on from there, especially after it gets past about 5 bars without failing, this becomes very, 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 very likely to be a winner. And whenever we see this thing play out, it plays out significantly to the upside on those winning trades. We're talking an average return of, over 37%. So in this case, if we don't see this one fail in the next 3 days, meaning that there is no closures on the next 5-day time frame below 90,900, then yeah, shit, man, the upside stats are still viable, and 37% puts Bitcoin at new all-time highs at $129,000. I think that there is some variance in there, obviously. So, I am open to this failing before that. If Bitcoin does put in a bull trap at around 107 or so, but or especially below 107. But hey, that would be the bullish hopium. That there are some setups that do suggest that hey, if Bitcoin does break out to the upside here. relatively soon, then yeah, we're probably in for some pretty significant gains, and there is a potential for there is real potential for reversal. Again, my personal opinion, as long as you're below 107.5, I'm looking at all bounces from here as, as a bull trap. But I do expect a bigger bounce. It's kind of like a delicate situation to explain. But anyways, yeah, using Quant Prime to backtest this one over here for the people who are asking. And you can find that again in the link description below. You can try it out for 7 days free. It's all good. Anyways, from there, what else do we got here? Pesto Fear Index, nothing much to update on this one as of right now. It's still the same as before. We're still coming off of extreme fearful reads. Whoops, I'm on the wrong time frame. The weekly time frame right here. Still coming off extreme fearful reads with the weekly stochastic sort of pointed to the upside as long as Bitcoin's above $87,000. So again, I do look at 87 as kind of like an important number for the weekly time frame to close above by the end of this week, just to keep probabilities positioned to the upside. But again, even in the most bearish of bearish marks, it's gotten some pretty significant bounces. So yeah, still on the same side of that, just taking it's very lovingly and sparse time, but it is what it is, I guess. So a lot more waiting to come. Anyways, other than that, let's go check out traditional markets. That's where shit's actually going down. That's where, well, it's not going down. It's going up, but that's where things are happening is what I'm trying to say in the new kids vernacular. First off, gold, new all-time highs. So before I was looking for a nice correction over here, a little bit lower. Wrong on that one. This one, just fucking moon mode. This is the end of the parabolic advance, but it is going to get crazier. $5,000 is, I think, inevitable. But, does this one have more than like 6 months left in this rally? Probably not. Does it have more than 3 months? Maybe yes. So I think we are in the last throes of this rally. Go more into detail on it on tomorrow's video. But yeah, this one just up and away, baby. Up and fucking away. And I am massively lamenting my inability to buy this thing way down over here below $2,000. What a fucking idiot I am. What a fucking idiot. That's what it is to be. That's what I'm finding it is to be like a long-term investor is, you just watch things go up and you're like, damn, I'm an idiot. How did I not see that one coming? But yes, over here got a little bit too cute with bids as well. It is what it is, man. I'm still learning as a long-term investor. But yeah, this one continuing upwards and onwards. And I think $5,000 is nearly inevitable at this point. But I don't think that this rally has more than another bar on this quarterly to go. So maximum 6 months, probably less than that. I do think that this one finds a major high, and you actually see Bitcoin start to gain a little bit of ground versus gold. But before that, gold's going to fucking crush Bitcoin, I suspect. On top of that, looking at especially defense technology, this sector is going crazy recently with all of the announcements of last week. I mean, shit, man, all of these things are just up. I mean, Kratos made new all-time highs, or not new all-time highs, but new highs for this rally that begun, what was this, back in summer, basically. So not bad right there. Red Cat up big as well. ITA, all of these defense stocks I really, really do love. What else we got? I mean, if we go back to SPY, you already know it's new all-time highs. It's just a new all-time high party. Just put your fucking, I don't know, put your party pants on and just get more fucking all-time highs in your life, I suppose. Yeah, this thing's setting up right here, right now. It tried a small downside move, to begin the day, but ultimately this one rallying back up towards those prior highs, that is, in my opinion, a very bullish signal. And again, obviously, nothing's guaranteed here, but we can move up now our invalidation point, which was formerly at the 1st of January's low. The 1st of January's low at 68.66, now to last week's low, which was 69.35 and a quarter. As long as you're above there, just follow the yellow brick trend. It wants to go up. Just let it go up. Don't overthink this thing like I overthink gold, and just continue to hold. This thing basically is resolving about a couple month long consolidation right here between the highs of October and the late December move right here. So yeah. About a 2 month long consolidation being, just resolved right now. I expect that this move actually has some decent juice on it, and we should be expecting this one to just continue upwards and onwards for, a few more weeks, something like that. Barring any sort of nasty circumstances. NASDAQ futures, same thing over here, just not as strong. You can see this one's been obviously in a lot more of a steady consolidation since, again, that same time frame from October, but not resolving it just yet. It will follow at some point. I do expect, just not the leader right now, so not super interested in watching it that closely at the moment. Other than that, just individualistic stocks I've been looking at. Maybe we could take a quick peek at IBIT, just see if the Bitcoin ETF is showing us anything that we haven't already learned from looking at Bitcoin spot charts. But looking at it right here, yeah, again, last week's low is a nice inflection point. That is a good invalidation for short-term bullishness. Looking at this one is likely to retest around that green 55 EMA, which is effectively last week's high. So yeah, something like that. Short-term rally should be inbound. Just doesn't really mean anything until it actually does break above that range high. Anyways, let's see what else has got lined up for me over here. Already a shit ton of super chats, so let me get to work over here. We got Great White Hype. He's looking at SATs, fib extension targets on the daily and weekly. Okay. All right, well, let's see. Fib extension targets. So to have a fib extension targets, we need some sort of a consolidation. This one's not in consolidation right now. It's in a breakout. So if anything, the last sort of consolidation we can come up with would be right here. I don't know if this matters that much, to be honest with you, man. It does seem like it likes to play off the 382 extension, which I guess the next major area of interest would be 132. I think you're kind of getting out of the crazy zone here, though. I mean, this is a pretty epic rally. I do think that the rally continues up a little bit more. So you probably do hit that 132 to 134 region. But I would be, I would be on edge that this one probably is going to enter into consolidation relatively soon. You're starting to see monthly BBWP, be at extremes for what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in a row. That's a long time to see something like that. So it is inevitable that this one is going to put in a swing high relatively soon. I think maybe you stab that target. But just be on edge that this thing, when it's going to turn around, it's going to turn around fast. It's not necessarily going to be full on bearish or anything like this, but it is going to have a consolidation lower and spend some time, I imagine, because this has been a pretty epic rally. And the more epic the rally, the more longer the consolidation, typically speaking. So yeah, probably hits those targets. Then I'd be, expecting something resembling some sideways price action and down, something like that, man. Steven Schickman's next. He's looking at MSTZ. All right, daily week. This is like your new favorite thing, man. But kind of interesting chart, I guess. See it over here. Looking to me a lot more like, yes, it still wants to come down to my number here at about 12.25 to 12.5. Rejecting this region. I don't know why the fuck I had that marked off, but for some reason it's relevant right now. Anyways, using that to reject off of as of the current moment. You also do have a head and shoulders here as well. I don't know how much it's going to matter. Your neckline would obviously be at about 13.25. So if it does hit my 12.5 target, there is a very high potential that it actually does resolve a head and shoulders to the downside. At that point, it actually will have targets much lower. I believe we did this last week, and it was pointed down around about 970ish region or 969. Great number, by the way. Which would also, most importantly, take out the lows from December of last year. So that would effectively, reverse this thing. And at this point, I guess that's where it's coming from, the open of the major rejection that we saw from April of last year. And at that point, this thing just retains its long-term downtrend. So short-term, I think it's down. The real question is, does it actually play out that head and shoulders targets? If it does, then you actually have a real reversal, and that's going to be bullish for MicroStrategy and bearish, obviously, for this thing. MicroStrategy, as I have been saying, I am really strongly biased, similar to Bitcoin, towards a bounce off of this region first. Maybe it stabs 145 one more time before it bounces. But again, I don't really expect anything significantly lower than 140 before having a bounce above $200, probably to like 220 to maybe even as much as 260, but something like that, man. You're also looking at Zeta. Okay, we can look at Zeta. Zeta coin or Zeta Global. Anyways, same thing over here. This one much better. This one looking like it wants to, I believe we looked at this one last week as well. I'm almost positive we looked at this one last week. Yeah, I was looking at it something like this. I do think that it's going to make a move towards $28. For some reason, I do have targets higher, but I don't know how much I trust that one. I do think you got to move towards $28. So, and if you do start to close above $28 on a weekly time frame, then sure, yeah, send it back up towards those prior highs at 34, 35, 36, whatever it ends up being. But for okay, it is on the monthly right here. Yeah, I see now. Overall, I mean, this is a much better chart than MSTZ. If you want to play some right now, in my opinion. So yeah, last week's low, good invalidation here as well. In the short term, if you do see a move back down to 22.5, that's fine. doesn't mean anything, just a retest of that breakout. So all good, man. What's up, Matthew? What's up, Mr. Van Duysen? How you doing, my man? It's been a long time, a very long time indeed, sir. A very, very long time, maybe too long. What's up, Asti SE over there, and Great White Hype and T-Matt. Yeah, we'll get to that a little bit later. Should I rent out my Angus for dollars? I would rent it out for maybe something that's actually appreciated in value, but you know, you can always rent out your Angus for whatever, you know, currency or commodity. What? The US dollar? No, his Angus has value. Don't sell it for shitty US dollars. All right, what else we got? We got Bryce Pankos. He's looking at Costco. Nice. I fucking love Costco, man. I'm going to go to Club Costco today. It's great. So excited. Yes, and also Rosie became a member. She's an executive dog at the moment. She's an executive dog of Costco. Fucking bastard. Profanity. Man, I really want to buy this just because I love Costco. I fucking love Costco. Is their stock good? I mean, objectively, long term, it is very good. It's very, very good. But it looks to me like it wants to put in a higher low here. And I wanted to buy this one a little bit lower. Again, Crown being too dumb. too dumb, you know, anticipating a little bit lower first. Still think this one might get to $800, but as of right now, it is in a rally mode. It looks like this one wants to put in a higher low here. And I do think you get another rally up towards 950 to, or sorry, about $1,000. Something like that. Potential for this thing to just go to new highs from there. I mean, look, this thing's never really been bad, to be fair. I do acknowledge that there is a pretty nasty yearly dildo for 2025. So that is why I still kind of anticipate, you know, there's probably a move to the downside at some point in this year towards $800. But shit, man, I mean, getting, you know, going from 850 low already to 800, that's not that big of a move for this, being that it's such a large number already. So, you know, in my opinion, yeah, probably got a little bit too cute on this one as well. In the short term, yeah, I do expect it to rally up close to $1,000, maybe a little bit above $1,000, come back to it after that. Yeah, something like that. Hoping for a long-term position below 800. Okay, so if you're looking for a long-term position below 800, I think you're going to be waiting for a long time if that move is going to happen, and it might just not happen at all. I think best you get to the downside is like 750. And even then, I mean, yeah, that's a rough one. I think with the stock like Costco, you'd have to wait for like another April 2025 type move in order for that to happen. I don't think you're getting it right here, man, or at least not anytime soon. I think if that move is going to happen, that's like a, you know, fast forward 6 months from now, and maybe it's higher, maybe it's lower, maybe the next sort of April type of move that we get, you know, it's so much higher that it only comes down to where it's at right now. So it makes it very difficult, man. But look, I'm in the same boat as you. I want to accumulate this one myself. You know, I think they're a beautiful business, but at the end of the day, man, it's the chart's telling a different story right now. It wants to go up and at least hold a range between about, you know, low 1000s and 850 lows. So something like that, man. Yeah, I personally don't think you're going to get that anytime soon, if it's going to happen at all. So yeah, and like I said, what I was wanting to get was $800. You know, that's where a lot of my alerts are right now. So I'm kind of in the same boat as you. Anyways, right now it says, good morning, Crown. Bcash daily and 5-day. Sure. Kind of went over it a little bit earlier, I guess. 5-day time frame. Yeah, starting to put in some regular bearish divergence right there. Weekly already has it as well, as we know. Maybe the bi-weekly is building it too. It is kind of building it a little bit. I don't know, man. It's just whenever I see Bcash rallying, it's almost a sign of like the end times. You know, it's one of the four horsemen. There's Litecoin, Bcash, XRP, and VET, or something like that. XRP not necessarily on that list anymore. You know, it can rally. It can rally. This thing, I don't know, man. I'm very much biased towards this thing failing whatever rally that it gets, but I suppose you have hopium as long as it's above the weekly 5 EMA. That's 618. That's basically 618. So until you actually officially close a weekly below there, I guess you have a little bit of hopium that it's just an uptrend kind of emerging and, slowly crawling its way. But, when you start to close below that number, especially below $600, I think you're coming down relatively quickly back to $500 and, probably lower than that over time, because that's just the history that this thing has. It fails all rallies that it gets. Monthly lower highs is the trend for this thing, man. It is a trend for this thing. Costco loves you. Costco actually does love you. Costco loves you. Costco loves you, and I fucking love Costco, baby. Oh, shit. Yeah, man, falling in love with my stocks, the cardinal sin of long-term investing. But actually, if you do listen to some people like Peter Lynch, his primary strategy was to find stocks that, look at the companies that he actually uses on a daily basis, companies that he actually likes, and then invest in those basically, or at least, start your research there more or less. And Peter Lynch is one of the most, famous of legendary investors of all time. I don't know. So far, I've had decent success with that. But, again, it's like, have I been through a real bear market? I don't consider 2022 a real bear market. Like, it was 1 year. It was 1 year. Like, when we have a 10-year long downtrend or just not going to new all-time highs for 10 years, that's when I'll consider myself, oh, shit, I've actually lived through one of these. But so far, no, haven't been active during that. The last one that we saw was from 2000 to 2008. What else we got? We got Ray now. He's back again. He's looking at Meli, Mercado Libre. Okay, sounds like a Mexican thing, but apparently it's a U.S. stock on NAS. And you're looking at the weekly and monthly. Monthly overall good so far, at least. Weekly also good as well, but I don't necessarily think it's ready to move back up towards that $2,500 high over here. I do think that is putting in a consolidation on this lower block, and I do think that it will get resolved to the upside, but I'm actually looking for this one to kind of oscillate a little bit more to and fro in this region here. And then, maybe after a month or two, it does try that upside move. But it does want to set in a base here. I imagine you're probably having hidden bullish evidence. Indeed, you do. 1, 2, 3 drives if this one does confirm a local low. I just think it's going to take some time. But hey, if you see this thing close above last month's high, above the December high of 2163, then yeah, you do have that higher low in. You do have that hidden bullish evidence confirmed. And at that point, yeah, it probably moves back up to those prior highs. Long-term, very good chart, very, very good history. Just think it's going to take some time, but yeah. And then of course, if you do lose the range lows at 1900, I mean, I think you got a pretty nice move to the downside around 1650 ish, something like that. But I'd be more biased for this one trying to dig in its heels and try to put in a low right here, man. I just think it's going to take some time, man. This is a monthly time frame after all. So shit, if you fast forward 3-4 months, it still might be in that range, but that is objectively a good range to be in as of right now. Anyways, we got, Ray now is back again. He's looking at Visa stock. Okay. I'm curious to see how the credit card companies are doing. Visa, yeah, not bad here. Still holding whatever range I had plotted out for, must have been a quarterly. Yeah, something like this. Overall good. I think that this consolidation is going to lead to new highs, man. Yeah, overall very, very good. If we're on the weekly here, well, what time frame are you on? You want a monthly and a weekly. So monthly, don't really have anything to add to that. You're bullish as long as you're above December lows. And, again, it might take a little bit of time in this range. It's very possible between about 360 to the upside and 330 to the downside. But the bias is on a bullish breakout here. Just need to see a weekly closure above that 360 pivot. And then sure, you're going to make new all-time highs, probably looking at a move, just eyeballing this one, 410, 420, great number right there too. And again, long-term, great history right there. So yeah, I think that this consolidation inevitably does lead towards a new breakout. Just wait. And again, this is a monthly time frame. It can spend another few months in here, just offset between these two boundaries. It doesn't mean that much, but long term, yeah, is setting up in my opinion. Yeah, no real technical signals here, but volatility is back down on the floor. So yeah, this consolidation is maturing. Maybe another couple months, and then you get an actual resolution, something like that, man. What's up, retard quant? He's looking at CC, short and medium term. Oh, nice. We got some real. It's retard quant looking at cryptos for the first time in this whole goddamn stream, except for Bitcoins. I guess we go here. Canton Network. Look, as far as charts go, it's very minimal information. The information that we do have is not bad. It's not. I mean, it's decent. It's decent. I would be using about 12 cents as a range low boundary, and of course, your range house is going to be coming in right around here at about 16 cents. As long as you're also between these two areas. Sorry, put on my price action pivots to just have this shit automated, so I don't have to use my brain on this. Need to go back to brain dead stuff. But yeah, look, as long as you hold this range, it is technically an uptrend, should have a bullish bias, does have hidden bullish evidence over here. Is it a shitcoin? Probably yes. Is it prone to dumping out of nowhere? Yeah. Is it also objectively in a decent position right now? Yeah. So I would take the bitch weight on this one and say, okay, just go off of whichever side the range breaks, which again, above 16 cents, send this thing to new highs. Below 12 cents, send this thing back down to, 10 and under. But for right now, holding this range sideways is objectively a good sign. It's just, again, shitcoin plus Bitcoin not bullish as fuck equals typically shitcoin failing. So yeah. Short and medium term. Oh, if you're just like short term, like a 4 hour, it's literally in the middle of the range. Probably tries another rally in the short term back up towards 15 cents. Don't think it's going to be doing anything significant though. In the short term, overall, you're literally in the middle of the range, so you're kind of in no man's land as far as I care. Freddie M says bid F back to $4 on the weekly soon. Pump how high? Question mark. Well, let's see. maybe not at all. You never know. You never know. Short term, yeah, I do think it's rallying here. Okay, that's a 4 hour time frame. Who gives a fuck about that? If you're on a weekly or a daily, I do think that you got to rally above $3 very soon. Probably starting this week. Does it move back up to 4? 4, I don't see the relevancy of 4. I see the relevancy of 360 or 356. If you want to use the price action pivots right here. Yeah. Do I think it's going to move back up towards 4? Maybe given a long enough time span, but in the short term, I don't see that as the relevant number to beat. It's 356 or 357 basically to the upside. And if you reclaim that, I don't think you're going to stop at $4. I think you go all the way up to 5, 5.5. Retest this high over here. So is it going to do it soon? If you reclaim this number right here, then sure, yeah, it's you're not just going to hit up to 4. You're going to hit up well past 4. I'd imagine. You do have hidden bullish evidence here, so I do have an upside bias in the short term. I do think that you will test 356 whatever in the short term. The question is, can it reclaim it? I think there's a good possibility that it actually will. Weird looking quarterly chart though, I will say. Very weird looking quarterly chart. But yeah, I would be looking for that short-term try to the upside. And if it can reclaim that, then yeah, I think you're going to hit your target and more and decently more. I mean, shit, from the difference between $4 and $5 is significant. I mean, that's a 25% gainer right there. All right, we got crypto chart next. He's looking at syrup, 4 hour and daily, please. Gotcha. Okay, back to some crypto shitcoins. This one, yeah, rallying up directly to the daily 200 simple. If you want to be bearish on it, this would be the perfect place to do it from, in my opinion. Not because it's guaranteed, but because you're testing a major moving average on what is objectively a downtrend right here. That is kind of where you'd be expecting a rejection if it's going to be bearish. Weekly time frame, not as bad though. I should acknowledge. If I'm looking at the weekly, I'm kind of more biased towards this thing popping up, maybe to 50 cents, which is a completely different analysis at this point. So, what can I say about this? Well, I can say about this, I would be actually okay. I would confirm bearishness on this if you just come back down below today's low. If you come back down below today's low at 38 cents and close a daily below there, I would confirm bearishness on this and say, hey, this is your perfect bull trap at a 200 simple, and you're going to come back down, 30 cents, bounce along the way, and then probably even break down below there. But until you actually close below today's low, you technically do have a pattern resolution to the upside here. So if I had to take a trade at this exact moment, it'd actually be to the upside, and I'd quickly flip bearish if it even just closes below this morning's low on a daily time frame. And technically speaking, if this is a falling wedge and this one actually is breaking out right now, price action pivots would be, the price action pivot at 50 cents is the target for that move, 50 cents. So yeah, if you're on a 4 hour time frame, probably doesn't matter too much to you. 4 hour time frame, again, morning low is very, very significant here. Any sort of a closure below there, probably even on a 4 hour time frame too, and this thing gets kissed goodbye for a while. But yeah, until then, yeah, I mean, give it a chance, I guess. You could give it a chance. I guess there's a little bit of hope in there. Crypto Rect is looking at River. Oh man, we're going deep into the shitcoin drawer right now. All right, River token. Yes, we need to tokenize our River coins on the blockchain. Step into the same, no man steps into the same river twice, because it is not the same man nor the same coins. because Rivercoin is now here to change your life. To be fair, actually pretty good. Genuinely, to be fair, this is good, and it is bullish as long as you're above last Friday's low, the price action pivot at 1146. This thing probably going to move back up towards that $25 high, maybe even make new highs from here. This is not bad. It's just got a lack of history, so I'm always a little bit skeptical when I see shit like this, but yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see this thing retest, around those $25 highs. Only bearish if it comes back down below, again, last Friday's low. If that happens, really fucking bad. Really fucking bad. It's really fucking bad if that happens. But until then, yeah, a little bit of hopium here for sure. Even this last 5-day low, the last weekly low. No, okay, not the last weekly low, but that would be about $13. Slightly earlier, I guess, if you want to make that decision. But for right now, technically not bad. So cool. Anyways, one moment, need to take another sippy sip of this. What else we got? Okay, Avicii coin. Wait, what? Was he tokenized on the blockchain? What's going on here? On the 4-hour, okay, very specifically the 4-hour here. I do feel inclined to look at the higher term time frames just to see. Is kind of important for context. I'm a pretty decent rally, to be fair. 4-hour time frame does have many drives of bearish divergence, so I'm inclined to say you are going to have a bit of a pullback here. Yeah. What kind of scares me about the daily time frame is that, if you are going to continue to be bearish, this would be a perfect place for another lower high. And your 4-hour time frame is starting to already show drives of bearish divergence there. So yeah, I'm inclined to say this one is going to spend at least some time consolidating this region. I do think it will try another move to the upside first. But if you see one more rejection below about $5.50, that would be my signal that this thing is going to fail and is going to head back down towards the lows. But until then, I actually think it's kind of wise to give it a chance here, just because it has reclaimed the 6-hour 200 simple, and it does to me look like. Yeah, it honestly looks to me like it wants to set in a base 4-hour time frame already has all major moving averages back in a bullish posture in here too. So while you do have some bearish divergence, that probably amounts to just a short-term pullback and then sideways range, and then it does try maybe one more move to the upside. But again, a rejection below $5.50, that would probably be good enough for me to say doom. But until then, you kind of have to give these things a chance, I guess, especially if you're just on the lower term timeframes. And you got a pretty obvious invalidation here as well. Look, last 4-hour low at 414 below there, bad. Until then, okay, give it a chance for maybe one more try to the upside. Maybe it stretches this rally one more leg, and then it and then it puts in like a major local high. But yeah. Anyways, moving on from there, we got, oh, you're back again. Holy shit. Aki. All right, I'm trying it. Aikido. Oh God. It's very useful in real life. Also very useful as a crypto shitcoin. Don't like it. Don't like it at all, man. Holy shit. 4-hour time frame though. I do think you got a little bit of a rally here, probably retest this price action pivot at whatever the fuck that ungodly number is. Might even retest last week's high from last Thursday. Long term, I hate it. Long term, I think it's terrible. But in the short term, yeah, I think you got a little bit of upside movement there. Basically retesting around last week's high. Does it break to new highs from there? I think that's a stretch. But hey, if you do see a closure above last Wednesday's high, then sure, probably got to move up. Probably got a decent move up towards whatever this ungodly number is right here. 7/100ths of a cent. 7/10,000ths of a cent. Wait, that's tenths, 100ths, 1,000ths, 1/10,000ths. Yeah, not going to say that. That's too long. It's too much of a mouthful. Devald says, hello, sir. What's up, man? S-Fix stock. Okay, cool. We're back in a stock land. This is good. This is good. I'm getting all kinds of alerts on my YouTube for new gun videos because I'm deep in fucking gun tube right now. God damn, man. I've gone down the craziest rabbit hole. Like, what the fuck? I need price action on Bitcoin to start to do something now. Do something now, because I'm getting into like a very weird addiction. Anyways, this thing, I do think you have some upside here. Hidden bullish divergence on this current higher low. I do think this one is going to try and move back up towards $6. And what exactly is your range high here? It's actually probably about $6, I'd imagine. Yeah, Yeah, a little bit below $6. All right, let's actually go off this one right here. Yeah, about $6. I think you're going to test that number, and I think you actually probably do break above, to be honest. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3 higher lows here with same highs across the board for the last, for the last couple of years. That is objectively going to be a bullish bias on a breakout. Long term, it's a terrible fucking chart, but I do think it is setting up for a decent move here. I do acknowledge that there is a red 5 EMA across the upside of the yellow 21. So generally, I do like to look for moves towards the green 55 when that cross happens. I don't think you'll get all the way there. You're gonna have some stops along the way if you get anywhere close as well. But you know, if you do break out above $6 on a weekly closing basis, I think you got a big move towards $8.5, $9. And that's, I mean, what? That's like nearly a 50% move. It's kind of crazy. From $6. Yeah, you see the choppiness on the chart on Avicii. Lack of buyers. Yeah, lack of buyers. That's an interesting concept. A lack of buyers. Yes, my shitcoin that has no value, that does nothing but take up space in the cyberverse, has a lack of buying interest. I'm surprised. Yes, indeed. I'm surprised of the lack of interest. Why will no one buy these useless coins? Why will no one buy my useless coins? There's many such cases of people asking that exact same question. Why is no one buying this useless stuff? I can't figure it out. There's a lack of buyers, yes. Sam Frangosi is here. What's up, man? Can we look at my Aussie dollary dues? Yes, your Aussie dollary dues. I believe it's this one you're looking at. The old Aussie shitcorns. I do think it extends this rally a little bit more, man. Kind of caught between a rock and a hard place, though. I think the short-term rally probably extends a little bit more, but long-term, it's doomed no matter which way you cut it. Does the rally get stuffed here at 68 cents? Does it go a little bit higher on a breakout towards 72 cents? I don't know. Either which way, both of them are major areas of interest for this thing just completely and spectacularly failing. But if you're on a daily time frame, you don't give a fuck about that. Short-term, it's up. Short-term, daily hidden bullish divergence, low volatility. I think you retest this high here, maybe a little bit higher if you play at the price action trend line extension at 60, almost 68 cents. So yeah, short term, I do think you got some upside moves. And then of course you got a beautiful invalidation on exactly the price action pivot, which is yesterday's low. So that would be Thursday of last week's low at 666 cents, the devil's fucking number right there. If you do close below there, okay, you got the reversal, come down now, and I guess the rejection plays out from here. But until then, short term, some more upside, very, very likely. I think this thing does extend the rally. 68 cents, maybe even a little bit more. But long term, like I said, whether it gets rejected here at 68, whether it goes or a little bit higher at 68, or whether it goes all the way up to 72, I think this one's just on, it's just a matter of time before it gets rejected. It wants to go down. It wants to go down, so let it go down. Just let it go down. My Aussie dollary dues. My dollary dues. It's funny, man. Aussies have some of the funniest sayings and shit like that. Let me plug in my phone. This is your reminder. Plug in your phone. Charge your phone. Charge your phone. Phone's good. All right, we got Peter says, time to buy North Face stock for when the US invades Greenland. Yeah. We're gonna have all of our winter gear in North Face. Yeah, not the best for winter gear. I think you need like some Canada Goose, but it might be a Canadian company based off the name. Let's see. We got Tams next. He's looking at Icon ETF. Sure. IHCN. Whoops. ICHN. There we go. Oh, this is China. Some China bullshit. Not bad. It's not bad. I think you're going to retest this 66 420 high right there. Shit, man. This thing could break out. I think you at least have to one more time. If it closes above the September high of 2025 at 665, something like that, on a weekly time frame, then I think you do have a breakout. And I think that you will, honestly. You got hidden bullish evidence on this last higher low. You got low volatility. You got the crown also about to turn up as well. If there ever was a time for this thing to try a real breakout, this is it. And if it completes that breakout, it's going to be a quick shot to like $7.40, $7.50, something like that. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's kind of scary. But hey, it's the fucking Chinese market, I guess, and they're nowhere near highs. We've been at all-time highs the whole fucking time. That's real American supremacy. Stock market beating you. I'm just making shit up at this point. That's why we're better. The stock market's better. We're gonna win the economic war. I don't know if it works like that, but I'll take it. I'm invested in the stock market. I'll take it. Okay, any narrative that works. All right, I'm pulling up any fucking narrative that I need. What else we got? A lot of ones today. I should let you know that we're not going to be in the office for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We will be back Friday though, so no live stream. Wednesday. Vic 9244 is next. He's looking at from 2018. Fuck yeah, man. I've never seen your name before, so I guess you've never commented. You did indeed say that you are a lurker, but fair enough. Anyways, you're looking at PAX. I think you meant PAX G 4 hour daily, and I think this is their gold stablecoin. Let's see. Yeah, PAX Gold. Yeah, that's how I know it. Just like Gold Spot, I'm bullish on it, man. I have to be bullish on this thing. I think you're going to head up to, look, it's just going up. 4,800 next area of interest, but look, long term, I think it's going to 5,000 plus. But I do think long term, like if we fast forward to the end of the first half of this year of 2026, I think that you will see a very major high. Maybe even the macro high, but until then, this is like maybe the last few months of a parabolic blow off top. Things are going to get crazier. I wouldn't really be anticipating a major high until 5,000 is hit. Yeah, crazy charts about to get more crazy. Nothing bearish about this as long as you're above last week's low. Just super easy in validation here as well. Last week's low, nice little pivot right there. As long as you're above, just fucking let it float, man. It's good. It's very good. Codes Mode says CTM on the Australian shitcoin exchange. Okay. What was it again? CTM. Castellum. No, wrong one. It's this one right here. Centaurus Metals. I'm glad that you did specify the exchange. Weekly timeframes right at the weekly 200 simple, so usually not a great place to continue rally from. A long-term terrible chart. Short-term does have something resembling a macro higher low compared to whatever this nonsense was over here from the early teens. Look, man, I don't know. I feel like Aussie stocks trade like shitcoins generally. I think you have to be very defensive in this area right here on the weekly, just because it is at a major movement after like the 200 simple. And at the very least, you're going to get some sideways price action, if not a major rejection. A lot of your sort of bull traps are going to come in around a major moving average like this. And even if it does continue the upside, I don't think it's going to be like this. It's not going to be like, whoa, just straight fucking, erection. It's going to be something more like spend some time going sideways. Then if it holds sideways, for like a couple months, maybe, then I think you got probably a big move up to like, I don't know, 90 cents a buck, whatever it ends up being. Maybe this even could be a macro higher low in the making here. But yeah, either way, let's come up with an invalidation for the short term, because I think that could that's probably gonna be the most helpful thing to maintain a bias. And what I'd use for this is I'd use this low right here, 54 cents. So as long as you're above 54 cents, I would give it the benefit of the doubt. Sorry, we need to move that up. That's not correct. It's 55 cents. I'd give it the benefit of the doubt that it's going to put in a consolidation at a high level. But the second that it comes back down below this number on a daily closing basis, I would look at this as a confirmed local high, a lower high, a rejection of the 200 simple, and thus very likely to play out with more continuation of the long-term macro trend. So yeah, only if this thing holds above that number and trades sideways for like, I don't know, a month or two, would I consider the possibility of this thing going, like 90 cents a buck, whatever, whatever it is, something like that, man. I think it's going to be a lot of waiting there, man, a lot of waiting. If it's going to turn out well, I think it's going to be a lot of waiting. If it's going to be very poorly, then not so much waiting. Not so much waiting. Anyways, Andrew Plus is next. He's looking at COPX. Okay, copper. Okay, you're looking at copper. COPX. Oh, this is miners. All right. I guess you just don't want to look at spot, but fair enough. Really good. Really good. Wow, bullish as fuck, man. Just had a fresh breakout on the December closure. This one's continuing this month. It's up and away, man. Be expecting new highs for a while. I think your next short-term target is 83.36. More long target's going to be like 96 bucks. Can it go more from there? Sure. I think it's just going to take some time. So I'd want to wait out a little bit and see those first couple targets hit. But yeah, this is a fresh breakout. This is objectively good. The narratives are behind it right now. Commodities are the thing at the moment. Yeah, let this thing float up into the right, man. It is, this is objectively good. Very, very good. Very fucking good. Very, very, very fucking good, sir. Then we got Batman-6. He's looking at he's asking, what are your thoughts on VRT? Is this a stock or a crypto? Oh man. Oh man. VRT. Okay. It's either this or there's some random crypto shitcoin. Venus reward token or Virtus. No. Hopefully it's not this. Hopefully it's not this. I don't think it is. So I'm going to go to the stock here. This looks a lot more like a chart. Let's see. Overall consolidating at a high level, around all-time highs. That's generally a good sign. Is it ready right now to just boost up to new highs? I don't know about that. But I would be looking for it to go sideways between these two price action pivots here. I think the price action pivot's got this one pretty damn well. Upside boundary is about 190. Downside boundary is about 148. As long as you're also in between those two numbers, overall good. I just think it takes some time. In the short term, which way does it go? I don't know. If I had to guess in the short term, I actually do think. No, I don't have any opinion in the short term. I guess if I absolutely had to choose a direction in the short term, it would be down just because the daily is in a slight downturn right now. But this is not like a super nasty downturn. It's more like a consolidation. Maybe it comes back down to the range boundary low, like 150 or whatever. Overall, though, as long as it holds that price action pivot, I am bullish. It's just I think it's going to be going sideways for a little bit of time before it tries the next real upside move. And if it loses the range boundary to the downside, then I think you got a pretty sizable move to like 130. But yeah, for right now, give it some time, man, to shake itself out. Chris Fellow, what's up, man? You ever look into uranium? Do I ever look into uranium or Uranus? Not sure. PDN, Paladin Energy, cool name, very cool name. But is that the right one that you want to look at? Maybe it's this. It's probably this, I'm guessing. Sounds energy related. You're looking at uranium, which isn't actually energy, is it? Uranium's like what's needed for nukes, right? Well, I guess nuclear energy. Maybe. Probably really grasping at some fucking straws right now. Anyways, this thing, I do think that you found a local high right here. I do think that it trades back down to like $10. And it is right at the 200 simple on the monthly as well. So I don't know. I'd be looking for a pullback here first. Yeah, pullback, come back to it later. Yeah, I think you're going to spend some time going sideways here a little bit at least. Not necessarily bullish, not necessarily bearish. Long term, not great, obviously. I really don't have a strong opinion on it other than that, man. Short term, I just think it pulls back a little bit at least, around $10, maybe a little bit below $10. I could get very bearish on it if it came back down below this low here at 915. That's where I'd obviously get very bearish on it. Just trading back down below there would be bad enough. Until then, I don't really have like a strong opinion. That would be a very strong opinion though. Coming back down below that low 915, that is bearish objectively. Until then, I'd give it a little bit of a chance here because I don't see anything that's super, super, super obvious at the moment. Maybe there's some divergence building. Nope, there's not even that. So yeah, no real buys for me on this one except for a short-term downside. What else we got? Asti, what's up, Asti? FMC monthly and weekly backwards. Okay. Dyslexic like me. FMC, terrible. So far, so bad. Monthly. Okay, so I guess I understand the game that you're playing here. It's like a crypto shitcoin, basically, comes down so far that you're like, bounce is going to be pretty epic. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. But what I can tell you for sure is that it's probably going to take a long time before this thing bounces. Is it going to bounce around this low from the '08 lows? Yeah, I think you probably do dig in for a local low there. But keep in mind, a low isn't necessarily going to be constructed on, just a couple of monthly periods. This might take a long time. Similar to the consolidation that you got over here. I think you probably get something similar over here, and you have like something resembling a bounce into like the mid 20s at the very least. But, long term, is this great? No, of course not. And I think you already know that. Even the monthly doesn't have bullish divergence possible here. Weekly, even the weekly doesn't really. I mean, shit. Can you connect this point with this point? I mean, that was 2 years ago, so probably not relevant. Yeah, monthly is the one that's going to make more sense, and it's not giving you that right now. It just sliced through the 200 simple on the, on the quarterly. So I think that you will get a rally back up to test that 200 simple. That's the $24, $25 rally that I just spoke about. I think it just might take some time because we are on very high term timeframes here. And am I calling a reversal? No, I'm calling a popcorn bounce on an overall shit asset. But a popcorn bounce can be tradable. Sure. I mean, $15 to $25, that's a big move. That's a really big move. That's more than 50%. So definitely tradable. Just, I don't know, probably easier things out there in the world. Brillo says Apple 4 hour daily. Gotcha. Okay. Apple, not so popular as of recent. But not a bad chart. I mean, consolidated at a very high level, but like most techs that were leaders in years past, it is not, it's not leading the market right now. It's being rotated. So we did see more or less a refilling of that gap over there. I do think short term, you probably try a little bit of a rally, maybe reconnect with about 266, 265 region. Seems like you're mostly on lower term timeframes though, so maybe not so relevant to you. But yeah, short term probably tries a little bit of a rally, 264, 265, 266, whatever. Something like that is what I'd be expecting next. And then after that, who the fuck knows? But that doesn't really seem relevant to you because you're focusing on the 4 hour time frame. So all good, man. What's up, Aaron? Hope all is well, man. And wishing you the best as well, sir. And hopefully everything's going well in your home country. I keep on hearing like snippets and bits about what's going on there, but oh my God, there's an actual crown scammer in the chats right there. Nice on the trigger, caretaker, but goddamn, man, I haven't seen that in a long time. What are these scammers doing? There's no one fucking paying attention to this market anymore. Like, what? Who are you trying to fool? Who, for real? Who are you trying to fool? Codes mode says HTZ reaccumulation on the daily. I don't know. Let's see. Hertz Global. Hertz donut on the daily. No, this thing is not reaccumulating. This thing is long-term going more down. I think I kind of understand what you're going after here. I think you have to look at the bigger picture. This is terrible in my opinion, long-term. It's very, very bad. I think this thing's a lot more likely to come back down to the $2.50 low, whatever the price action pivot here. Yeah, $2.50 on the price action pivot. I think you're a lot more likely to come back down there than you are to come back up to like $10, for example. Pretty bad. Yeah, pretty bad. If you get a rally this year, I think maybe like $7.50, but I'd be a lot more biased towards downside here. Maybe I'm wrong. It's very possible that I'm wrong on this thing, but I see what you're going after on the daily. I do see. I guess if I wanted to give credence to what you're saying, it would look something like this. You're basically in what is like a falling channel, right? Or a falling wedge, which typically break out to the upside. But if you're going to declare this one an upside breakout, then what would you have to do? You'd have to trade back above the last most recent lower high, which would be about $7. So it's really not that helpful. At that point, yeah, you probably got to move back up towards the prior highs of this rally at like $9, maybe $10. But I don't know. Long term, I'd be a lot more expecting this one to go to the downside than to the upside. Let me adjust my seat here. My seats. Oh wow, the stream's going quite long. All right, cool. Brillo says SoFi 4 hour daily weekly. I got you. All right, SoFi. I know we've looked at this one before. I just don't have like a mental picture of it, but I guess whatever LARP lines I drew out over here, I'm still more or less looking at the LARP lines as legit. I think you're going sideways for a while, man. Long term, probably good, but I just think you're going to be going sideways for a while until any sort of long term upside plays out. Bullish objectively as long as you're above $23.50, but I mean, after coming off of these extremes right here, I think you spend a few more weeks going sideways, then maybe try an upside move. But long term, yeah, it is good. It is good. Like, don't get me wrong, it is good. Where would I get bearish on it? Below, 23.5. That would be my line in the sand. Till then, consolidation at a high level, basically on highs. Yeah, that's going to be bullish bias there. Let's see. Andrew Plus, he's looking at Palladium. Okay. XPD. Yeah, that's the ticker. What time frames? None, no time frames given. So I'm gonna make this one up. I think it might extend the run a little bit more towards 2150 or so, but I'd be looking for a pullback relatively soon. I do think that you're going to find a local high relatively soon, but one more push to the upside, maybe like 2100-ish, something like that. I do want to acknowledge that there is a new price action pivot developing at 1500. Below there, I would get bearish. But until then, yeah, I think that you got one more leg on this run and then a nice consolidation, and maybe that leads towards continuation. I mean, this isn't bad long term, but it's been a pretty epic run. So a little bit higher, then consolidate. Red pill closet. Wait, what? You're a closet homo and you're red pilled? ACHR. Cool. All right. ACHR. Archer Aviation. What is this stock? Electronic technology. I like that. Aerospace and defense. I also like that. This chart kind of seems like middle of the pack for defense technologies, at least for the ones that I watch. It's not amazing, but certainly not terrible. It's not bad, just not amazing, because some of these things are doing absolutely amazing things right now. Yeah, so you do have potential for hidden bullish divergence on the monthly time frame between the lows of March of last year and this potential low right here. In order to confirm that, you need to close back above last month's high of 906, which, we got a long month left to go, about 18 days left. So if you do see a closure above there, that would be my confirmation that this thing wants to trade back up, towards these highs. Maybe just continue on with the general rally. I mean, this does have an uptrend here, to be fair. Short term, I'd get bearish below $7.50 on a weekly closing basis. And short term breakout, not relevant to the monthly, above 906 on a weekly closure, probably sends it back up to 10.5, $11. Other than that, no strong opinions here. Kind of reminds me of Red Cat, I think it was. Let me just go back over here. Was it Red Cat? Yeah, Red Cat and this one have similar charts, but this one's actually putting in higher lows at a higher level, so objectively better. Yeah, I'd say it's not that interesting of a defense tech stock, but it's got a good narrative right now. I am biased towards the upside here. If the downside pivot gets hit, okay, it gets hit and, send it back down to fucking $5 or whatever. But for right now, give it a chance. I just don't think it's that strong. So yeah. Greg Griffith says, the girthy PP, daily, weekly, and any divergences. Maybe not the ones you want. I got bearish divergence on my PP hole. Not good. Not good indeed. Anyways, one moment. Oh, what do you know? PP getting rejected. My PP got rejected? You fucking bastards. You must accept my PP. That's also called rape. I don't know, man. It might try this high one more time from last week, but play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And this is a great prize to be playing for. We're going up, baby. Any divergences? No, not really. Not anything that really matters here, in my opinion. I do think you probably get one more shot at this high here, but I think it's just a question of when, not if it's going to fail. Like, it's going to fail at some point. Is this going to be the next lower high, or does it go a little bit higher first and then put in a lower high and then come down? That I don't know. I'm sorry. I really don't have much of an opinion on it other than that, especially with no time. Oh no, you did give me time frames, but on those time frames, yeah, short-term rally, I just don't think the rally continues in any significant way. Maybe retesting last week's highs, something like that. The Swaggins stories. Hello, Mr. Swaggins. BMNR. BMNR. Okay, this is Bitmine, Tom Lee's Herpity Derp. What time frames here? 4 hour daily. Okay, very low for a stonk. Yeah, I don't know right there on the 4 hour. I'm just inclined to say down because it likes to go down. 4 hour time frame, if anything, did have hidden bearish divergence on this lower high. It doesn't matter that much, though. It's not a very strong one. Hidden bearish divergence right there too, but you could argue that that's already played out. I'm inclined to say if any direction is likely here, it's going to be back down to $27, but I don't have really strong opinions on this thing right now. My strong opinion is on long term, this thing will come lower. Short term, maybe a short-term rally, but I don't think this, like, if you look at this high right here, don't think you're going back above that, maybe ever. Going back up to maybe $70 on like a, Hail Mary rally at some point, possible, I guess, a little bit more reasonable, but still, this thing wants to go down long term. So whether it's now or later, I don't know. I'm inclined to say now. It probably does. I guess if you do reclaim last Tuesday's high of $34, you probably got an extension of this rally back up to like 45, maybe $50. But until then, I just see more downside signals. They're not super strong right now. There's going to be some ebbs and flows, but long term, down to the Hades. MG 76067 is looking at AGQ. Okay. AGQ. It's silver ETF. Good and good. Again, really epic rally right here. I do think that it extends a little bit more towards maybe like 270-ish, 280, something like that. Then I'd be very cognizant that this thing, it's going to put in a high relatively soon. You're getting extremes already on the monthly BBWP. It can be up there for another few months, by the way. But I do think that you extend to new highs here. I mean, you're already doing it right now, to be fair. But 270, 280, maybe even $300 if things get really crazy. Somewhere around, let's just call it 280, give or take a little bit from that number. But be mindful that this thing is very, very, very likely going to find a local high relatively soon. So I would, if you see anything resembling a rejection, like just be aware weekly and monthly volatility is at extremes. So local high incoming in terms of time relatively soon, maybe a couple, 2 to 3 bars at most. But yeah, daily time frame objectively bullish, hidden bullish evidence leading to new all-time highs. I mean, that's a good signal right there. That is a good signal. All right, we got Asti next. She's looking at Lucid. Did you forget my other super? FGMC? No, I didn't see it. FGMC. All right. Un momento. What the fuck is this, Asti? I did forget it, but maybe it's better that I forgot it. I don't know. This is some weird looking shit. Yes, it is. I already got it. Okay, it's fine. It's a fucking line chart. I don't know what to tell you on this one. It's going up right now, but I don't have an opinion on this thing. There's just not really a chart to be looking at, or it's all kinds of fucked up looking on TradingView. Let's look at Lucid. This is the car manufacturer, right? I think I saw one of their cars the other day. It's kind of cool, but their chart is not very cool. Very bad. Very, very bad. Very, 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 very bad. Bad. Very bad. Bad down. Less up, more down. Bad down. Going down. I think it's going down. I think it might be going down. It looks pretty bad. I think it's going down, actually. Yeah. In hindsight, the previous chart, much better. This one, maybe at some point they do turn around. I mean, it's an interesting concept. Like their cars, they look okay, I guess. This chart, though, not very okay. Look, if you get a bounce, okay, playing this thing right now is like playing a shit coin that is in a perpetual downtrend. Yes, every once in a while you get these bounces. They can be, very nice percentage moves. I mean, shit, this one over here went up, what, like 200%? Oh, nice. Not bad at all. I mean, even these smaller ones over here, this one went up, what, 70%? You can get shit like that, but long term it wants to go more down. And every once in a while you will get something like that. And if you were, I guess, my target would be about 50% up towards $15-16. But playing that game is very difficult, in my opinion. It's very fucking difficult. Oh, you're pre-IPO. Oh, nice. Okay. You must be an accredited investor. Nicely done. If you're pre-IPO, IPO was $100, Asti. It's trading at $11 right now. We got a problem here. We have a problem here, Asti. IPO was $100. We are trading at about 90% lower than that right now. I don't know. I think you might get another one-off bounce, but I don't think it's going to be the reversal, or at least I'm not going to be the first person to call reversal. I see Bitcoin kind of reversing from 92 now, quick down from 92 to 91. And the perpetual range continues. Surprise, surprise. What else we got? Let me just make sure that I don't have any meetings today. Check my calendar. We have a meeting at Club Costco. That's right. I'm going to go partying at Club Costco. I'm very excited. LP Philosopher says, Monero versus Bitcoin, weekly, monthly. You still bearish on it? Monero Bitcoin, probably yes. Monero dollar, probably not. But I don't know. I haven't looked at either in a while. Let's see. Oh, this is a pretty good rally. Hold on, that's 4 hours, so maybe not so much. No, no, man, no. Yeah, okay, 4 hour rally seduced me right there. Can the rally extend a little bit more? Sure. Is it probably going to top out relatively soon? Yeah. I think it might extend a little bit more towards like whatever this high is right here. So what is that? 750,000 Satoshis, somewhere between like 720 to 750,000 Satoshis. I think it can extend there, but I am objectively bearish on this one. I mean, it's just a downtrend. So, you know, probably tests into that region there, puts in a lower high, continues with the downtrend, but that would be short-term bullish, to be fair. So does it have more upside to go in the short term? Yeah. And the weekly is pretty obvious about this too. Weekly hidden bullish divergence. It is on high volatility, so it's probably not going to be like a crazy move, but yeah, maybe around like 700,000 Satoshis, maybe a little bit more, but I would be very much on edge that this thing probably does top out like relatively soon. So yeah, I'd be curious to see Monero versus dollar though, because that chart actually has been one of the most interesting crypto charts. And yeah, this one's breaking out. I think this one is broken out. It is broken out. This one wants to go up. I have a target here pointed up all the way towards like $800. Crazy. So yeah. Ran out of water. Holy shit. It's been a while since I've ran out of water on a stream. What's up, old green god? Been a while, man. TGT, daily weekly, how we looking? Sure. TGT, okay. Target. Oh, nice. I think my LARP lines here are kind of directionally correct. I think it's going to take some time going sideways, but in the short term, it does want to rally a bit. Yeah. If you're on a daily, then that's probably a different look entirely, right? Daily probably increases the rally a little bit. I'd be looking maybe like 110 to 115, something like that. Long term though, I think you're okay. It might not be this long, by the way, of like going sideways, right? But I do think it's going to be like kind of the same thing, you know, blah, 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 blah. And then after a long time of holding this monthly 200 simple sideways, then yeah, I probably get another major rally. So in other words, I think that you found your lows. I think it's going to be sideways for a while. Short term up, yes, but I don't think it's going to be a breakout to like, you know, 150. You know, trade sideways for a little bit longer, then sure, try a real rally, something like that, man. It doesn't really matter. It's fine. Chris Fellows back. He's looking at Doggy. All right, we could look at Doggy for nostalgia, for good old times. Doggy over here, beautiful lower high. If Bitcoin shows any weakness right now, this thing will shoot right back down to that low from December. Let's see the weekly. It makes it so hard because it's right on that 200 simple on the weekly. I just really don't like not looking for a bounce off of a region like that. Long term, yes, it wants to go down. I think that much is obvious, but short term, it might try one more bounce, but I do think long term, if we fast forward later this year, I think we'll see this thing below 10 cents. Yeah. Chris Fellows back. He's looking at Matrix versus Solana. Okay. All right. I'll bite. I'm guessing this thing. It's going up. We're going up versus Solana. Look, I don't really have a real analysis on this chart, but at least it does have an uptrend, does have higher high and higher low. I'm not bearish on it as long as you're above whatever this number is right here. 1454, just the low of last Friday. If you do take out that low, then I would get bearish on it for a move back down somewhere here. Until then, I'd just be looking up and to the right, but you know, it's very, very new chart. So not really any like upside targets or anything like that. Just up until otherwise, basically. Yeah, it is definitely a shitcoin. I mean, maybe we could do one of these and see if anything of interest pops up. Whoops. I don't even think this is working. I'm not seeing any of these line up really. So yeah. The Swaggin Stories. He's back. He's looking at Baba. Nice move. Very nice move on the daily. Weekly also nice move as well. Hidden bullish evidence. I think this one does pop back up towards these highs. Price action pivots even has this as a falling wedge here. So there is an implied target to be made. It's probably around those highs, I'd imagine. I can't even do it because I have my magnets on, my stupid magnets. Stupid fucking magnets. It's not correct. But yeah, somewhere around this previous high right here. Long term, you didn't ask about it, so I'm not going to give you an opinion. No, I do think that this thing rallies back up towards these highs, like 180, 190, maybe even $200. This one looks like it really wants to reverse. You have higher highs, higher lows on the monthly time frame, probably even on the quarterly as well. Okay, not so much on the quarterly, but yeah, I do think that you try an upside move from here, like 180 to 190. Cool. I think we are actually through the super chats. Holy shit, man. 150 hot dogs in your mouth. Fucking yes. Give them in a big way. Elsa likes to put them in her bunghole too. It's great. I can't wait until it's illegal to drive manually. Oh yeah, it's coming, dude. It is absolutely coming. We all know it too. We all fucking know it. You cannot beat an FSD. I will never drive another car. What's an FSD? I have no idea what that is, man. Take what you have left and buy Tesla. Not financial advice, says Great White Hype. Let's check it out. I do own Tesla. Again, full disclosure. And I'm still bullish. Yeah, not bad. Not bad indeed. I think it's found its lows for the month, hopefully. Nice one. All right, I think we'll probably wrap this bitch up. Oh, Lucid is a failed car company, says cars, crypto, and conspiracies. Interesting. Well, I guess their charts kind of failed, so yeah, there's that. Sequoia says Solana is holding up pretty tough right now relative to other cryptos. Thoughts? I don't know. Let's check it out. Where's my Solana Derpa? It's just not breaking down crazily like, a regular shitcoin. Do I think it's good here? Not necessarily. Do I think it's bad here? It's certainly not the worst of the pack. I'd say it's kind of like maybe a little bit above average for sure. I do still think that you get the LARP line bounce over here, maybe like 160 or so. Other than that, I'm a lot more inclined to say this thing will come further to the downside, probably close to $100 at some point in this year. Hopefully I'm wrong. But yeah, holding up decently. I mean, it's still kind of close to the top side of the range. So closure above like 145 or so. And I do think you get that move to 160, 165, whatever it is. Yeah. Not bad. Could be worse for sure for most shitcoins, as we've seen. I saw Lucid yesterday, but I see like 100 Teslas to one Lucid. I see, yeah. Teslas are everywhere, man. They're pretty normalized at this point. All right, Great White Hype. We'll look at this last one, then we're going to call it a day. AVGO. Okay, Broadcom. I do think it's setting in a base here. I don't know if it's ready right now, but as long as it's above about 320, I like it, basically. Very, 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 very small amount of bullish divergence on the last weekly low. It's not going to be worth that much. Monthly, a lot of bearish divergence there, so not great there. Quarterly, if it does break down below that range low, I'd be looking for about 300 on a higher low. Other than that, yeah, no strong opinions right here, actually. Kind of a weird chart, weird looking chart to me. But I'd mark off the 320 range low below there. Okay, yes, you do have a reversal. You do have to be looking further to the downside, but until then, I don't know, give it a chance in the range. That's usually what I like to do for these things. Although this one does look kind of weird to me, I would say. Peter says, regarding long-term investing, would you have exited the Nikkei in 1989? I mean, been able to tell you need to exit? I don't know. Let's look at it. All right, we'll end it on this exact one. These are fun questions. I always love to ask myself these questions because it's a very humbling experience to realize, oh shit, I probably wouldn't have done it in that situation. All right, well, first off, we need a chart that goes much more history. Nope, getting closer though. Okay, maybe this. No, futures didn't come out until later. Nick, what ticker can I look at here? I'm guessing this is Osaka Stock Exchange. Is that right? No, it's got to be this. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. 1989 was right here. Let's see what indicators looks like at that moment. So there was quarterly bearish divergence. Crown oscillator was turning down, and volatility was coming off of peaks. Yeah, there were certainly signs there for sure. It'd probably be really hard in the moment. If we go down to the monthly time frame, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drives of bearish divergence here on extreme volatility, with the crown oscillator turning down. There's definitely signs for sure. Definitely signs. Now, taking that signal in the moment, that's another story. I mean, it's hard. It's a hard thing to do. It's not so easy, but in these sort of situations, you got to sell some. So yeah. All right, you want to look at A-Lab. All right, last one. No, I've not been trading since 1989, sir. The Nikkei, he's talking about the stock, like their major indice for Japan. Yeah, much better than the other one for this guy. I don't know if it's ready right here, but I do think that this range is a bullish bias range. Your range low is this low at 130. Your range high is price action pivot at 202. You're in the middle of the range right now, and I'm inclined to say that the short term will probably test the range high, 185 to $200. Does it break out from there? I don't know. On this current try, like I said, I need to see a weekly closure above 202 to call a breakout to the prior highs, but I would have a bullish bias on this one overall. I think it's pretty decent. Just definitely not bearish as long as you're above 130. So yeah. All right. Mr. Escobar, last one, sir. Last one just for you, just because you arrived here. NEE, Nextera Energy. Oh, is this that fucking drink? Not bad. Honestly, not bad. You do have a higher low here. You're already around this prior highs. The bias is on an upside continuation breakout. Is that going to happen exactly from this moment? Maybe, maybe not, but I would be expecting this one, within the next year to reclaim those highs. Probably move past 100 or so. All right, cool. That is where we shall end things for today. What's up, Bear Nutrition? Good morning to you, man. Please check Aster. Too late. Sorry, man. I think that's enough for one day. My voice is starting to fail as well. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you guys on the sites Monday morning. Like I said, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're going to be out of the office. So if you're trying to reach out or anything like this, we're gonna kind of not be that available. We'll do our best to get back to you, of course, but it might, it's going to take longer than usual, I'll say. We should be back in full action by Friday, and we'll do another live stream on Friday. But yeah, until then, just be some regular video uploads. And